In a small village in Nigeria, there lived a woman named Adaeze. She was known far and wide as the best midwife in the area. People came from many villages to seek her help when they wanted to have babies. Adaeze learned about herbs and medicines from her grandmother. She knew how to help women get pregnant and how to make sure babies were born healthy. Many people in the village respected her because she helped bring new life into the world. Every day, Adaeze would wake up early and prepare her herbs. She would mix leaves and roots to make special teas for women who had trouble getting pregnant. She also taught women about their bodies and how babies are made. One day, a woman named Chioma came to see Adaeze. Chioma had been married for 5 years but couldn't have a baby. She was very sad and worried. Adaeze gave her some herbs to drink and taught her when was the best time to try for a baby. 3 months later, Chioma came back with happy news. She was pregnant. This made Adaeze very happy. Adaeze loved her job, but she had a big dream too. She wanted to have her own baby. She had been married to her husband, Emeka, for 2 years. They tried and tried to have a baby, but nothing happened. At first, Adaeze wasn't too worried. She knew sometimes it takes time. She drank her own herbal teas and followed all the rules she taught other women. But as months passed, she started to feel sad and confused. People in the village began to talk. They whispered when Adaeze walked by. Some said, how can she help others have babies when she can't have one herself? This made Adaeze feel very bad. One day, a woman named Nneka came to Adaeze for help. Nneka had heard the rumors. She said, Adaeze, I'm not sure if I should trust you. You help others, but you don't have a child. Maybe your medicine doesn't work. Adaeze felt hurt, but she tried to explain. Nneka, every woman is different. My herbs and knowledge have helped many women. Just because I don't have a baby yet doesn't mean I can't help you. Nneka decided to trust Adaeze and took her advice. A few months later, Nneka got pregnant. This made Adaeze happy, but also sad. She was glad she could help others, but she wondered why she couldn't help herself. As time went on, more people started to doubt Adaeze. Some women stopped coming to her for help. This made Adaeze worried about her job and her place in the village. Emeka, Adaeze's husband, saw how sad she was. He said, my love, why don't we go to the big hospital in the city? Maybe the doctors there can tell us why we can't have a baby. Adaeze agreed. They traveled to the city and saw a doctor. The doctor did many tests on both Adaeze and Emeka. After a week, the results came back. The doctor said, there's nothing wrong with either of you. Your bodies are healthy and should be able to have a baby. This news confused Adaeze even more. If nothing was wrong, why couldn't she get pregnant? She and Emeka went back to their village, feeling lost and unsure. But Adaeze didn't give up. She kept helping other women in the village. She delivered babies, gave advice, and made her herbal medicines. Even though some people doubted her, many still came for her help. Years passed, and Adaeze helped many women become mothers. She saw babies grow into children, and those children start their own families. But still, she had no child of her own. People in the village had all sorts of advice for Adaeze. Some said she should pray more. Others told her to try different foods or to sleep with her feet pointing a certain way. Adaeze listened politely, but she knew these things wouldn't help. Some people told Adaeze to see a spiritual healer or a native doctor. They said maybe someone had put a curse on her. But Adaeze didn't believe in curses. She believed in medicine and science. Emeka stood by Adaeze through all of this. He never blamed her or got angry. He would say, Adaeze, you bring so much joy to others. You help babies come into the world. That's a special gift. If we can't have our own, that's okay. We have each other. His words made Adaeze feel better, but deep down, she still hoped for a child of her own. As years went by, Adaeze started to feel more desperate. She had tried everything she knew, but still no baby came. One night, after a long day of helping a woman give birth to twins, Adaeze sat alone in her hut, crying. Emeka found her there and hugged her tight. My love, he said, I can't stand to see you so sad. Maybe it's time we try something different. Adaeze looked up at him, wiping her tears. What do you mean? Emeka took a deep breath. There's a famous native doctor in the next village. People say he can see things others can't. Maybe he can help us. At first, Adaeze shook her head. She didn't believe in such things. But then she thought about all the years of trying, all the disappointment. What if there was something she couldn't see? Something beyond her knowledge of herbs and medicine. Okay, she said finally. Let's go see him. The next day, Adaeze and Emeka walked to the next village. They found the native doctor's hut at the edge of the forest. It was covered in strange symbols and animal skulls hung from the roof. An old man with white hair and eyes that seemed to look right through them came out. This was the native doctor, Adaeze. I've been waiting for you, Adaeze said, even though they hadn't told anyone they were coming. Adaeze invited them into his hut. Inside, it smelled of herbs and smoke. He asked Adaeze and Emeka to sit on mats on the floor. Tell me why you've come, Adaeze said. Adaeze explained their problem. As she talked, Adaeze closed his eyes and nodded, as if he was listening to something only he could hear. When Adaeze finished, Adaeze opened his eyes. I must speak to the spirits, he said. He started to chant in a language Adaeze didn't understand. He threw powders into a small fire, making it spark and change colors. After what seemed like hours, Adaeze stopped chanting. He looked at Adaeze with sad eyes. I have seen the problem, he said. Your womb has been tied. Adaeze was confused. Tied? What do you mean? Adaeze explained. Someone has used powerful magic to prevent you from having a child. They have tied your womb shut in the spirit world. Adaeze couldn't believe it. Who would do such a thing? She asked. Adaeze closed his eyes again, as if listening. Then he said, it is someone close to you. Someone who should love you, but is filled with jealousy and bitterness. He paused, then said, it is your mother-in-law. Emeka gasped. My mother, but why would she do this? Adaeze shook his head. The spirits do not always reveal the why. They only show what is. Adaeze felt a mix of emotions, anger, sadness, and a strange relief at finally knowing why she couldn't have a baby. Can you undo this magic? Adaeze asked hopefully. Adaeze was quiet for a long time. Then he said, yes, but there is a price. To untie your womb, the one who tied it must die. Adaeze and Emeka looked at each other in shock. Emeka's mother would have to die for them to have a child. Is there no other way? Adaeze asked. Adaeze shook his head. This is powerful magic. It can only be broken by the death of the one who cast it. Adaeze felt torn. She wanted a baby more than anything, but could she accept the death of her mother-in-law? Even if the woman had done this terrible thing to her. Emeka spoke up, his voice shaking. We can't kill my mother. There must be another way. Adaeze looked at them with understanding. I cannot make this choice for you. You must decide what you are willing to do for a child. Adaeze and Emeka left Adaze's hut feeling more confused than ever. They walked home in silence, both lost in their own thoughts. When they got home, they sat down to talk. Emeka was angry at his mother, but he couldn't bear the thought of her dying. Adaeze felt betrayed by her mother-in-law, but she knew she could never agree to such a terrible thing. After a long discussion, they made a decision. Adaeze looked at Emeka and said, we won't do anything to harm your mother. If we can't have a child, then that's how it must be. We'll continue to live our lives and help others. Maybe one day, things will change. Emeka hugged Adaeze tightly. Thank you, he whispered. I love you so much. From that day on, Adaeze tried to accept her life as it was. She focused on her work as a midwife, helping more women and delivering more babies. She still felt sad sometimes when she saw new mothers with their babies, but she tried to find joy in helping others. Emeka's mother never knew that they had discovered her secret. Adaeze and Emeka decided not to confront her, hoping that one day she might change her heart on her own. Years passed this way. Adaeze became known as the wise woman of the village, respected for her knowledge and kindness. She and Emeka grew older together, finding happiness in their love for each other and their place in the community. As the years went by, Adaeze and Emeka settled into their life together. They found joy in their work and in each other's company. Adaeze continued to be the most respected midwife in the village, and Emeka's carpentry business flourished. Emeka's mother, unaware that her secret had been discovered, grew older. She became frail and needed more care. Despite knowing what she had done, Adaeze helped take care of her mother-in-law, showing kindness and patience. One day, when Emeka's mother was very old, she called Adaeze to her bedside. With tears in her eyes, she said, "Adaeze, I have done a terrible thing. Many years ago, I was jealous of you. I feared you would take my son away from me. In my foolishness, I went to a witch doctor and asked him to prevent you from having children." Adaeze listened silently, her heart pounding. The old woman continued, "I have regretted it every day since. I've seen how kind you are, how much you help others. I was wrong to do what I did. Can you ever forgive me?" Adaeze took her mother-in-law's hand. "I forgave you long ago," she said softly. "We all make mistakes. What matters is that you've realized yours." Emeka's mother smiled weakly. "Thank you, my daughter. I will ask the gods to bless you with a child. It's the least I can do to make things right." A few days later, Emeka's mother passed away peacefully in her sleep. The village mourned her passing, and Adaeze and Emeka honored her memory with a traditional funeral. Life went on as usual after the funeral. Adaeze continued her work, helping women in the village with their pregnancies and deliveries. She had long ago accepted that she might never have a child of her own. But then, about a month after her mother-in-law's passing, Adaeze began to feel different. She was tired all the time and certain foods made her feel sick. At first, she thought she might be coming down with an illness. But then, one morning, she realized her monthly bleeding was late. With trembling hands, Adaeze prepared the herbal test she had used countless times for other women. She hardly dared to hope as she waited for the result. When she saw the change in color that indicated pregnancy, she couldn't believe her eyes. "Emeka," she called out, her voice shaking with excitement. "Emeka, come quickly." Emeka rushed in, worried by the urgency in her voice. "What is it? What's wrong?" Adaeze held up the bowl with the herbal test. "I'm pregnant," she whispered, tears of joy streaming down her face. "After all these years, we're going to have a baby." Emeka stood still for a moment, shock written all over his face. Then he let out a joyful shout and swept Adaeze into his arms, spinning her around. They laughed and cried together, overwhelmed by the miracle that had finally happened. The news spread quickly through the village. People who had once doubted Adaeze now came to congratulate her. Many said it was a blessing from the gods, a reward for her years of helping others. Adaeze's pregnancy progressed well. She followed all the advice she had given to so many women over the years. The whole village seemed to be waiting with bated breath for the birth. When the time came, Adaeze went into labor. It was long and difficult, but she was surrounded by the women she had helped over the years. They supported her, encouraging her with the same words she had used to comfort them. After many hours, Adaeze gave birth not to one baby, but to three. 3 healthy baby boys, each as perfect as could be. The village erupted in celebration at the news of triplets, seeing it as a special blessing. Emeka was overjoyed, proudly showing off his sons to anyone who came to visit. Adaeze, though exhausted, couldn't stop smiling as she held her babies. As news of the triplets spread, people came from far and wide to see the miracle babies of the famous midwife. Many brought gifts and blessings. Some who had doubted Adaeze in the past came to apologize and ask for forgiveness. Adaeze forgave them all, too happy with her new family to hold on to old hurts. She named her sons Chidi, God exists, Kelechi, thank God, and Oluki, God's work, in gratitude for the blessing she had received. As the boys grew, Adaeze continued her work as a midwife, now with even more knowledge and empathy for the women she helped. She often told her story to encourage women who were struggling to conceive, reminding them to never give up hope. Emeka and Adaeze raised their boys with love and wisdom, teaching them the value of patience, forgiveness, and helping others. The triplets grew into fine young men, a constant reminder of the miracle that had blessed their family. Adaeze's story became legend in the village and beyond, a tale of perseverance, forgiveness, and the unexpected ways that life can bring joy. People would say that her kindness and dedication were rewarded threefold, just as she had been blessed with 3 sons. Adaeze lived the rest of her days contentedly, surrounded by the love of her family and the respect of her community. She never forgot the long years of waiting and the pain she had endured, but those memories only made her appreciate her blessings even more.